Hey guys, we're back in the UK. It's raining outside. Let's talk about our trip. We found that masks were a lot less enforced in France. In Spain, they were in the streets, people wearing masks. In France, not so.
Yeah.
Most people weren't wearing masks. We were still being very careful. We were wearing masks whenever we felt we needed to, hand sanitising and what have you.
Yeah.
So we did a couple of airs then, didn't we? We did...
we slowed the pace right down. From the Pyrenees, we only drove half an hour into Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port.
That's it, yeah.
And we stayed at it was a lovely little air. Again, the difference between airs and campsite stops for us, we choose an air when we're going to be there for something else. It's somewhere to park and sleep. As much as possible on this trip, we've been picking airs with services because it gets so hot in the van where the boys sleep above the cab because, heat rises and all that science stuff. But we need electric to keep the aircon on so that we have happy kids, because if we don't have the happy kids, then the whole trip's going to be miserable. So that was an air with electric. It was really pretty as well. But it was quite busy. Yeah. But it's on the Pilgrim's Way, so it was...
It did us, didn't it? And then next stop then was the Carcassonne.
Medieval city.
Medieval city. Now that is the second busiest tourist destination in France.
In the whole of France. Only the Eiffel Tower is busier. So you can imagine.
It was busy.
I think we were naive when we arrived thinking it might be quite quiet. There aren't as many tourists on holiday at the moment, but south of France was way busier, way busier than the whole of Spain
that we'd seen so far. So we didn't do the internal part of the Carcassonne citadel.
No, we walked around the outside.
And still spent a good couple of hours taking in the ambience and enjoying it, and it was lovely.
Yes.
It was lovely.
That air was good as well. It was quite expensive for a parking...
It was €15. I mean, there wasn't toilets and what have you, but it was one of them new style automated airs, and I kind of like them. They're all right.
Yeah,
they work for us.
They're really convenient, really easy.
Very convenient. The campsite next door was €60 odd. That was €15. So we went out to the Moroccan restaurant, the kebab shop there, and then we did the Carcassonne the very next day.
Yeah.
And then we decided, I think, to push on further to the Mediterranean.
Yes.
Then, wasn't it?
And it was getting busier,
real busy,
busier and busier. Yeah.
That's where we got in Camping Le Floride, or Florida. Now that was €90 a night, which we don't mind spending now and again. We can save money at the airs, but we just wanted to throw something in. The kids wanted...
the kids have been bashed over the head with history for 2 days,
Absolutely.
So they wanted water parks and entertainment. And
we certainly found it.
La Florida had that in spades. It was fantastic.
Water park for them. George did a great video going down the water slide. If you haven't seen that, again, we're going to link that below in the description.
That boy is cute.
Entertainment was top notch, as you find in these big sites. There was...
that was a professional animation team, and
the animation team were great.
They did 2 different shows the 2 nights we were there. One was based on the Greatest Showman, and the other one was a Michael Jackson tribute.
Which I did want to put more footage in, but I'm going to get a copyright claim, so I'm sorry I couldn't include that for you.
Harry loved Michael Jackson.
He did.
The Brown Head Boys not so much.
But they all enjoyed the fun fair that we went to on the second night afterwards, so that was great to end that trip. Next was 2 airs in the south of France. We'd originally tried to get airs with a swimming pool, even tried another campsite.
Yeah, we found it quite difficult that day because we set off knowing roughly where we wanted to be, and and it just didn't work out that day, did it? Particularly,
it didn't, and it goes.
Usually it does,
But sometimes it goes like that.
it's fine.
So I found the Aire at 15 euros a night, the quirky one with the water features and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was great. That was fine. While we were there and we were looking at other places and ideally looking for somewhere with a pool, we found one just up the road on Google Maps with the pool. And we moved to that the next day, and that was 12 euros a night. Though the swimming pool should have been for the use of the campsite only, lovely French lady said it's fine, go ahead. I offered her more money, she said it's fine.
Yeah.
And she let the kids swim in the pool, which made that one. That was a beautiful stop for us, that one.
I think after the big campsite, we just wanted somewhere to decompress a little bit. It felt so busy at the big campsites that moving on to small airs, it was nice. We were ready for it.
Yeah, we were ready for it.
Yeah.
Next one was a bit further down the around the French coast, which was camping Montpellier Plage.
Yeah.
That was the 3 in a row we found. 3-star campsite, real busy.
Yeah.
A lot of English people there, and we did bump into some lovely English people there. So if you're watching, hi. Again, we're going to link in the description below. It was fine, but it was real busy. The facilities, the pool when we went was real busy in the afternoon, wasn't it?
By this time, it just felt like all the big campsites were full, to be honest, weren't they?
Yeah.
There were a lot of people there. We did see some English people, which was the first time we'd seen them in the trip. But there was a lot of French people that had obviously come from all over France on their holidays as well. And whereas in Spain it was still quiet, wasn't it?
Not as busy. And we like to throw in these busy sites now and again, but our ideal sites are not the big busy sites. Which is why we decided one night there was enough, and in fact decided the south of France down the coast was too busy for us. So I found us another stop, a municipal campsite, Le Grillon, 1 hour inland, and that was
what a sight.
Our most perfect campsite. Number 1 campsite of the trip was Le Grillon. Again, we'll put a link in the description below. It's a quiet municipal site. I think it was 30 euros a night. They had a little pool. Wasn't a big campsite.
I'd say no more than 50 pitches.
Yeah. Who was our host?
Axel.
Axel was fantastic. German guy, married to a French lady, and he's there looking after things constantly, making sure your stay's good. Yeah,
they didn't lay on entertainment. The facilities weren't 5-star, beautiful, shiny, all singing, all dancing facilities, but
it's our kind of stop there.
Yeah, we were talking to the boys about why this, because it was all of our favourite stop, and it was because it's small. There were other families there, but the right number of kids that they could make friends. When you're on the big sites, it almost feels like the kids are roaming around in packs sometimes. And on this site, they were able to get to know some people. They went swimming. They spent the evenings chatting and exploring.
Yeah, and playing till late.
Yeah, it felt more of a community vibe, I think.
Yeah. We did 2 nights there, went out to the restaurant, managed to get rid of the kids for the evening, and went out for a romantic meal, which was beautiful.
It was
in the restaurant
really lovely.
So that was our favourite stop, Le Grillon. Links below for you.
And that one was really cheap as well compared to some of the other sites. Really
60 euros for 2 nights.
Yeah.
Next one. Now the next one was recommended by you guys. Was put in the comments there, and they said if you're down that way, I can't remember who it was. Camping Domaine Les Ranches, Camping Ardèche, if I've said that correctly.
I'm going to find out who it was again. It was in my phone and the notes, and I'm going to say thank you in the description.
It's a 5-star campsite, and it certainly was a 5-star campsite.
Yes.
It was very busy, and the most expensive one. 99 euros and 90 cents for the night, that one was.
But for your 99 euros, you get spotless toilets, and they were cleaned every hour. I saw the cleaners come every hour. There was a lake with activities on the lake.
Canoes
and you could just
yeah.
take out a canoe. If there was one free, you could just take it out. You didn't have to book it. There was an animation team. There were people running around in bikinis and shorts, chasing things down with the animation team.
The pools
were gorgeous.
Even had an adult-only pool, indoor-outdoor pool.
There was a spa on site.
Water slides, although the kids said the water slides were a little pony, but there was water slides for the little kids. And that was great. That was good. There were a few English people there as well.
It would be a lovely place to spend a week or so on holiday. It's lovely.
So we stayed one night, and we decided next we wanted to take you to see one of our favourite chateaux.
Yes.
On the way back up France, and that is Chateau Lagrange Fort.
But the night we arrived at the 5-star hotel at the 5-star campsite, we started getting messages, partly from you guys, from our family and friends as well, and I'm also signed up for the Foreign and Commonwealth Office alerts, and we noticed that the tone had changed again in the news about French destinations and French holidays. We noticed,
and the COVID numbers were going up.
Yeah.
And the headlines were that it was going to be imminent that France would probably be put on the 14-day quarantine list.
To be honest, thinking back to when we were right on the south coast, you could see why those numbers are going up.
Sure.
It felt.
And the main reason we didn't want to go to be in the 14-day quarantine list is so the kids wouldn't miss the start of school.
Yeah. We've got Eddie who's starting a new school, Harry's going into year 8, and George will be fine, whatever.
So we would have quarantined, but of course the kids would have missed the start of their school, and we didn't want that. That was the number one reason.
Yeah.
So whilst on our way to Chateau Lagrange Fort, as I'm sure you see in the last video, we made a plot twist, a change again. I left there, I think, at 10 o'clock in the morning. Was going to drive 3 hours to Chateau Lagrange Fort, and I think 2 hours in, we decided, let's skip that. Let's continue up France.
To be honest, it wasn't even until we'd pulled past the junction that we usually pull off to go to the chateau that we were fully committed to not going. We were still
two minds. Should we do with this and then leave France? And we just decided, let's play our safeguards.
Yeah.
And skip the chateau. So we've saved that for you for next year. So don't worry, we're going to take you there next year.
Yeah.
So I spent from 10 o'clock in the morning. I drove until 11:30 that night, and I got us all the way up France. In fact, it would have been sooner. We normally get to Paris and go right round Paris
from the south. If you go counterclockwise,
we've always gone that way. And this time, Google said no, left is quicker.
5 minutes quicker.
And we lost at least an hour and a half there. I don't know if you know, but please learn from this one. And really, I'd heard of this years ago, but there are on that ring road, there are 2-meter height barriers in many places along that ring road, so we ended up having to drive through Paris.
Yeah.
And it added like an hour and a half to our journey. So please don't make that mistake again. Schoolboy error. We won't do it again.
No,
learn from our mistakes.
That is ingrained.
I got us to like an hour south of Calais by about 11:30 that night. Lovely little air. The boys were awesome just to sit there and chill out on their iPads all day.
We were very lucky that we were able to change our Eurotunnel, because when we changed the ferry to 2021, the return journey, we booked Eurotunnel for the end of August. And one of the things we did as Steve was driving, one of the things I did was to change the Eurotunnel and bring it forwards. We considered that evening because we were worried that with France the decision would be the same as Spain. They'd make the decision and it was from now. But we made it for the next day, and I can't remember why we made it. I think we just decided it was too much of a push.
Just do it the next morning, in case. I'm glad we did after the wrong way round Paris routine.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, for €30 more, we just changed it to the next day instead of the end of August, and there we are. We drove the last hour, gone on the Eurotunnel,
Yeah.
got across. In fact, they put us on an earlier one when we got there. We got there a little earlier. They put us on an earlier one, no extra cost. And we were home within around 24 hours from leaving the south of France.
Yeah.
24 hours later, we arrived home.
Yeah.
And then, turns out it was the best
right
decision,
decision.
the right decision. Because the very next day, at 10 o'clock that night, the announcement was made that you're going to need a quarantine for 14 days if you come back from France. And by that time, we were home safe.
Yes. And we'd spent 2 weeks in France.
Yeah.
Which would have been our Spanish quarantine.
So
Our quarantine from Spain.
absolutely. So we felt we were playing by all the rules and everything was safe.
Yeah. And since we've been back, we've stuck to the rules as well. We've not done full quarantine, but we've not been round licking people's faces or anything. We've kept our masks and.
When are you licking people's faces? What's all that about? So look, guys, we just wanted to do a recap on the trip. I hope you enjoyed the trip this year. It was 3.5, nearly 4 weeks, not 6 as originally planned. We consider ourselves quarter timers, so we spend a quarter of our life in this in our motorhome travelling. Every school holiday we pick the kids up and we go off travelling. That equates to 3 months of the year. So we consider ourselves not full timers but quarter timers. So hopefully we can still get out and about and give you guys some more interesting travel stuff on the channel. Let's see how the travel plans are. I know we're going away this weekend. Going to meet up some friends at Stratford show. But I'm sure you'd agree we've fitted a lot in. We don't like to stay places too long. One night we're here, one night there, 2 nights here. As I'm sure you've seen, we like to move on and fit as much into our trips as possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Get in the comments below if you've got any questions, and we'll see you on the next one.